You, my friend, are a freaking badass. You are a rock star. You are freaking awesome. So what do we need to do in order to be able to portray that through your marketing, through your branding, through your authority creating, through everything that you do, so that when people come into contact with you, they just freaking know it? Let's find out. For today. My name is Nicola. Super excited to share this stuff with you. This is something that I really, in case you haven't noticed, I get really excited talking about and I love sharing. Now, when I was a kid, I remember growing up, we were on 2.5 acres and it was like a really kind of like long rectangular block. And at the back of our block, right down the back, the house was at the front, we had horses and all this other stuff. Right down the end, we had some sheep fencing, and then over the back of that fence, it was just crops. Crops, I don't even know what they were, peas or something, and they were nice and green some of the year and really brown other times of the year. But there were these really big fence posts that were I think there's about 4 of them that went across the back of the width of our block, and I remember getting up and standing on those, singing to the crops over the back fence. I would tell them stories, I would sing, I'd pretend I was a TV host, I would pretend that I was a TV contestant. I would do all of these different things, thinking about being on stage, entertaining people, doing things in a way that inspired and would make people smile. That was really what I wanted to do. I'd put on performances at school, I would put on performances for the customers that would come to my parents' house. They were visitors, but I called them customers. And any visitors that we had, I would have to put on a performance, whether it was singing or ballet or dancing or turning on some music and putting on a bit of a jig. I absolutely loved doing it. So for all my whole life, I knew that there was going to be a way, somehow, I didn't know how, that I was going to be in front of people, either on stage physically or on stage via a camera or via Facebook or somewhere. I knew that I was going to be on a stage helping, inspiring, motivating, entertaining people. Now that to me is kind of like the very feeling of a freaking rock star. And so many people that I talk to, they want to do the same thing. But what we want to do, we don't just want to get out there and blurt out our stuff just for the sake of it, because that's just kind of like putting noise pollution out there, right? We want to do it in a way that is strategic, that makes sense, that value adds to the brand that we're wanting to create, as well as value adding to the people that we're wanting to bring in. So how do we do this? One of the best ways, first and foremost, that you can work out this is going, okay, well, who is it that I'm talking to, right? Who's your niche of people, or what problem are you solving? And working out what is it that my people want. What are their goals, their dreams, their desires? In this case, it's about being seen as a rock star in your niche, your industry, doing what you do, right? That's a desire, that's a goal of so many people. They're scared because, you might not want to be judged, or maybe you don't want that negative feedback, or maybe you're worried about your friends and your family seeing you, putting yourself out there, and they think that you're silly. I know that's what I used to think. I used to be really worried about my family going, hell is she talking about now? This is really just fucking crazy. That was one of my big fears. So who is it that you're talking to? What are their goals, their dreams, their desires, their fears, their problems? And that's the first thing. The second thing, how are you owning your space? So the internet is imagine it like a Monopoly board, I guess, is something that I would like to, that way you've got a visual, right? What is going to be your plot? What part of that board are you going to own? And what I want you to do is kind of stake your claim. You're going to create a bubble around you, and that is going to be your space. Literally, stake your claim in that particular thing. So it might be with that particular group of people. It might be doing the particular thing that you do. It might be you just about the stuff that you really love to talk about. How are you owning that space and not letting anybody even like freaking near it, like your competitors and stuff. I mean, your tribe, you're going to welcome in with open arms. But all those other people, it's like, you know what, bitch, this is my space. You can just go back over there. This is my space. They can go stake their own claim. They can have their own bubble. They can draw their own line in the sand. They have got the ability to be able to go and do whatever the heck it is that they want. So for you, we want to stay in your own lane. One of the other things that we need to really do when it comes to creating a really confident brand around you is share your freaking opinion. If there is stuff that's really important to you about something, then I want you to share it. If there are things that you don't agree with, talk about it. Make sure it's constructive and with intention, so that otherwise it can come across like you're kind of berating people and banging people in the head, and you know, that's just really not very cool. One of the things that I would also encourage you to think about those rock stars in the music industry. I think that's a really awesome place to kind of use as a bit of a reflection of what we want to create. Pink, Taylor Swift, Joan Jett did not give a flying fuck about what anybody else thought about them. They've reinvented themselves. They've created things that they love. They've staked their own claim in different niches, different sounds, doing what it is that they're doing. They've all evolved over the time as well. So how can you embrace some of those characteristics, some of that bravery, some of that, you know what, I'm just going to try this, and if it doesn't work, then so be it. Get out there, make shit happen, own your space, and be seen as the rock star that you are. My name's Nicola. I'll see you soon.